And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Sparkling Tuna Cup, number 34. Oh my god. A little bit unprepared. Hold on 1 second. There we go. We are back with another week of our bi-weekly open tournament. And as we get into this, a massive shout out to Iceland in the chat. Thank you so much. Oh my god. Thank you so much for all the gifted subs to Domicro, Marsbar, Furajin, Lilypad, and Hydra. Thank you so much, Iceland. We appreciate the support. I'm sure the players appreciate the support, as well as all the money that we make here on Twitch goes towards tournaments like this. Tournaments like the Sparkling Tuna Cup. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon. We have the Finnish Zerg player, the yellow Zerg representing Team Ruddy. It is Fjant. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the German Terran player representing Berserker Esports. It is BattleB. And it has been quite some time. I believe this is the debut of both Fjant and BattleB in the Sparkling Tuna Cup. They are not the most regular players at all in our tournaments, so I'm happy to see them both here. I'm very happy. Oh, thank you. It's great to see some new faces joining the ranks here of potentially regulars in the Sparkling Tuna Cup. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the rank yourselves. We have a lot of high caliber players here ready and waiting to juke it out, and we're going to be featuring as many of them as we can throughout the course of this broadcast. As a reminder, both semifinals will be casted. The finals, of course, will be casted as well, so plenty of StarCraft to be had tonight. And we're kicking things off with a juicy ZvT. So far, nothing too crazy. BattleB just going for a Rax expand into his factory. No Beyond opener, no 2 Rax. Oh, you love it to see it. A little bit out of the norm nowadays, but I appreciate that there's still players going for Rax expands in a more standard fashion, as we do see a dance here between the Reaper and the drone so far. Fjant just going for a hatch gas pool, going for a third base. Does keep his drone alive, does keep his Lings alive. So far, good control out of both players, no one losing anything needlessly. And BattleB is going for a very economic opener, going for his 3rd CC before Starport. And before we get too ahead of ourselves, now that we have a bit of a lull here, we are aware of the openers, everything is normal, everything is standard. Very special announcement. If you're in the chat, if you see him pop in the chat, or if you're in our Discord server, wish Yakuzaku a happy birthday. Happy birthday. It is Yakuzaku's birthday today. I don't expect him to join me to cast. Of course, he has earned a day off. I believe he was streaming last night leading into midnight, and yeah, he's enjoying himself. So happy birthday to Yaku of the Zaku. Again, a founding member of the Cranky Ducklings and a fellow caster as well. Of course, he won't be casting today, but he'll be casting tomorrow. We'll be casting tomorrow. So he's 1 year older, hopefully 1 year wiser. I mean, much love, much love. Also, another announcement. If you see him pop in the chat, if you're in our Discord server, wish Asher bro the best of luck, because Asher also won't be joining me tonight, as Asher, his PC blue screened, and and he's having a hard time getting his PC to work. So felicidades to Yaku. My condolences to Asher. Hopefully he can fix his PC issues. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. But he was streaming earlier today, and the stream died, and his PC died, and he's trying to fix everything, and wish him the best. With that out of the way, we can get into this. So far, it was a 3cc before Starport into a Banshee opener, as standard as standard can be. The question becomes, is this standard anymore? You know, like, is this still what everyone is doing? I mean, it used to be, but again, the Beyond opener has been so prevalent throughout the meta that this is falling off a little bit more. So what I'm getting at is I appreciate it. I appreciate seeing this. I appreciate BattleB sticking to what was once, and of course always will be, standard. Oh, I love the target firing on that Rox as well. Does take down the creep tumor. Is going to be dancing between the bases. The goal here with all these Hellions, of course, is to try to keep the creep at bay, keep Fjant on his toes. If at any moment the Queens are out of position, then the Hellions can dive into a mineral line. Otherwise, they're just keeping them busy, making room, making some space here for the Banshees to do damage. 2 of them have been kept at home. cloak is now done, and 2 Banshees do one-shot workers, so we'll see if they head into a mineral line or if they join the Hellions here and trying to kill some queens. We got some options. We do have some options. Spores are done though. Fjant playing it out safe, and yeah, because of that, we're going for the queens. We target down the high energy queen. It is going to be going down. One falls, the second will fall as well. This is snowballing a little bit out of control. We need more queens. The Lings are looking for a surround. They will surround the Hellions. Are there enough of them? It looks like there are. The Hellions get cleaned up. There is a detection. The queens arrive, and Fjant holds. Fjant defends. And that is a little bit scary for BattleB because that was really committed. He committed everything to that fight. He threw away all of his Hellions. He went forward with his Banshees and revealed his Banshees as well. And what did he really get for that? Quickly looking at the unit slots tab, he got 3 queens. Not bad. You got a handful of Lings as well, but ideally you want to be getting a little bit more, especially now that you have no map control. This Ling run by gets a lot of counter damage. 8 SCVs go down. The reason why this Ling run by could get so much damage is because the Hellions were dead. Like, if the Hellions were still out, then the Lings would have to stay at home, because if they ever move out on the map, then the Hellions can threaten a mineral line. They can threaten one of these bases. But alas, because they all go cleaned up, then that just created an opportunity here for Fjant to counterattack, to get damage done. And now he's in a much better position. We just see BattleB just dipping into the main base. He's looking for some counter damage, and hey, he gets 3 more drones. Not too bad. The Banshees also survive as well, which is very important. So BattleB, he's still in this. Even though he's sustained some losses, he still has, or he's still dealing counter damage and has potential for even more counter damage as he shuffles his Banshees around. Does bring his high health Banshee forward. Oh, up! He's still going to lose 1. But now that wasn't 3 worker kills, that was 6 in total. Again, not too bad. You know, we're recouping losses here. BattleB is fighting back. We have a 4th CC on the way, so he's not going for an 8 racks 3 base all in. He's working on that next step. He's working on the next base here. Is looking further ahead as he's pushing out with a pretty strong upgrade timing. Stim is done. Combat shields. 1-1 as well. And I do have to change this. This is not GPO. The Grand Platypus Serpent was last night. Comes out last night. Tonight is the Sparkling Tuna Cup, and now I'll bring the tuna out. I'll bring it out after this game. Oh, as a bathing run by does roll in, doesn't take down the tank. 4 HP. 1 shot away from going down. It will survive. Only 1 tank goes down. A much more efficient fight for BattleB. Sure, he lost a tank, but he traded with Banelings, which is kind of what he wants to go for. Meanwhile, the Marine drop is diving into the mineral line. 3 workers go down. We pick up. We're gonna leave some Marines back. Unfortunately, there's not enough room in those medevacs, but we do drop into the main, and oh boy, what do we have here to defend? Okay, we got some Lings. They are in position. Not too many queens for anti-air, but for the most part, Fjant is able to keep up with this. So catching up in the chat. Blue screen doesn't seem too bad. I said blue screen, I mean like the piece, it's dead, Spab. It's dead. it's over. As the Marines do stim on forward, and they're going to be able to clean up a lot of this creep. At least at the same time, do see another massive Ling counterattack. The tank goes down. The Banelings, they get into the mineral line, and once again, damage is being done. It looks like only SCVs will fall, but there's no mining happening here at the natural base. We even connect with the Marines. And every time that BattleB attempts to move out on the map with nice manual detonations, but every time BattleB attempts to move out on the map, he's just forced to turn back around. These counterattacks just keep him busy back at home. They keep him pinned back, and as a result, Fjant, he's able to gain map control. The creep is getting past the halfway point. It's covering the platypus that should be a tuna. I'll fix that. Shaking my head. But yeah, the creep at this point, it's reaching past the halfway point, except through the center. To be fair, like, these pushes from BattleB still have a lot of potential pushing through the center of the map, but another Ling counterattack here is going to collapse on this tank. Fjant still has map control, does get into the mineral line, does get a tank, and he still has plenty more behind this. 2-2 is on the way. For the time being, we're still just going pure Ling Bane. We do have a Hydroden. I believe we do not have an Infestation Pit, but I believe we're going to be working on that momentarily. as we also haven't worked on Hydra upgrades. Because of this, these drops, they have a lot of potential. They can get away, especially without too much anti-air, but really, Fjant, he just will not stop. Gets on top of the tanks once again. This time, a massive amount of banelings. They roll in, they take down the planetary. Oh, the SCVs! Some of them, oh, the majority of them will be saved. A hot pick up there from BattleB does save the majority of his workers. At the same time, he's across the map doing some damage of his own. 9 workers go down. Can he get the base itself? There are no Banelings left to defend. Without Banelings, the Marines do get the hatchery. Very nicely done here by BattleB. I mean, I say that he's helping keep things even, and surprisingly, the worker counts are very even right now. I would kind of give the edge to BattleB. If only he wasn't running out of mineral patches. He desperately does need a 4th base. He is long distance mining. Even though BattleB has a comparable worker count, you can see he's not mining efficiently, right? He doesn't have the bases to actually make use of all of his workers and actually mine from this 4th. So Fjant is going to be able to remax a little bit faster. As I say that though, BattleB is pushing out on the right hand side of the map onto creep, and Fjant is waiting for him. Oh god! Big tank volleys on the Banelings. Good target firing coming out from BattleB. He is clearing up a lot of this creep. Ooh, gaining ground on the right hand side, but now Fjant, he's got some anti-air. We have Hydras in the mix. We can shoot down some of these medevacs. We can gain control of the skies. There just isn't enough to protect these tanks. The Banelings roll on in. There just aren't enough Marines. The tanks will go down. BattleB gets cleaned up. And BattleB never got that 4th back up and running. He cannot remax. He cannot rebuild what he's been losing. Fjant, he checks. He sees the lack of base, and I'm sure he's feeling good about himself. So there is another drop into the main. BattleB doing everything he can to try to keep Fjant busy. A pretty big snipe on the Bailey nest. Very nicely done. But we need more than just sniping a tech structure. Banshee finally goes down. We have a drop here towards the south. BattleB, oh my god. With the drop play. Trying to keep Fjant busy. BattleB, even though he doesn't have that 4th, he's slowly recovering, slowly remaxing. I would like for him to, like, just lift the main. At this point, just lift the main, you know? Oh, god. BattleB, he just can't afford to throw down 400 minerals worth of a base. It's a luxury that he cannot afford. Marine goes down. Fjant is remax. I'm a little bit concerned that there's no hive. This entire time, no infestation bit, no hive, no 3-3. Likewise, though, BattleB also can't afford 3-3, so I guess it's not the biggest of deals. But it does mean that Fjant doesn't have as much of an advantage as he should have. Even though Fjant has a large bank, again, he just can't take up into hive, into adrenal, 3-3, lurkers, vipers, more importantly. So BattleB still has a chance. Like, he doesn't have to worry about blinding clouds, doesn't have to worry about highly upgraded Ling Bane, but once again, oh my god. We do have a pre-split from BattleB, but I just don't think he has enough. And once again, Fjant is getting on top of the tanks, cleans everything up. We have another double drop going into the main, but there are Lings waiting for it. BattleB pulls back. And you can see that BattleB doesn't have a mineral bank. He's got gas. He does have gas to work with, but he needs minerals as well. The drops are at least keeping some supply pinned back at home, but some supply is not enough supply. As we have plenty across the map, getting ready for another assault on the would-be 4th, the non-existent 4th. Up! Up! As we do see a drop coming in, a lot of workers are going down, but we don't care about the workers, we care about the army! There's one tank left! There are no tanks left. And Fjant breaks the final army here of BattleB. He's on his last legs. The drops are getting damaged. I mean, hey, a hatchery just went down towards the bottom left. 8 workers. BattleB, though, just lost 14 SCVs. Cannot mine from his once 4th. Now, there's nothing. Good opportunity, though. He does catch some of these Hydras. A very efficient trade here, but GG gets called. He runs out of steam, and Fjant will take game number 1. GG. And I need to set up the tuna. Hold on. Un momento, papi, un momento. Yeah, set up the logos mod. Can I buy some time? Whew. Okay, we did it. They did not give me a lot of time at all. We're in. We're in, papi, we're in. As we're getting into game number 2. Oh, and I should fix that as well. Bam. Ah, there we go. So we're looking to get into our second game, and that was a pretty intense game 1. I'm very happy, very pleasantly content with how that game turned out. Very back and forth for a long time, but we saw that at times our Terran player was maybe over eager, maybe overextending, was punished every time did overextend, and was being pinned back as a result. But here he is looking for revenge, looking to redeem himself in game 2. Spawning in the top left hand corner of Gressfarm, we have the German Terran player representing Berserker Esports. It is BattleB. And interesting, spawning in the bottom right, going for an extractor trick, going for a 15 hatch, we have the yellow Zerg player representing Team Roddy. It is Fjant. Again, this is the debut of both these players in the Sparkling Tuna Cup, unless I'm mistaken. I could be mistaken. I do know that it's Fjant's first time. I'm pretty sure that it's BattleB's first time. I'm pretty sure it's like a good 80%. I'll have to double check that. Regardless, it is going to be a 15 hatch here from Fjant. Interesting choice. So we have seen a rise in popularity of 15 hatcheries here in ZvT. The reason for this is it's very safe, as you get a faster hatchery and you get a faster spawning pool. It's a hatch pool gas opener. The gases are delayed here in favor of faster queens, faster lings. This is also typically a gasless style where you take the third base a little bit faster as well. So very safe and greedy in a way, but you don't really have a lot of tech to work with early on. This is also kind of a decent way to counteract something like the 2-racks opener, just because the Reapers rock up, but you already have an abundance of queens, and you can stay on 2 bases a little bit longer. You have faster lings as well to make sure you don't lose too much. We see this a lot more commonly on Neo-Humanity. Just because of the defensive nature of Neo-Humanity, you can be greedy, you can take your third base without any gases. But we can see that Fjant, despite going for a 15-15, didn't go for his third. Interesting. Ah, there we go. Now he's going for that third base. I do know that I think Eba's been doing this a little bit more often. Oh, actually, he takes his gas before the third, so not as greedy as he could have been. So we go, the third is now on the way. Reaper does rock up, but the Queen arrives, and the Queen is going to be able to keep this Reaper back. Oof, almost gets a drone. Reaper is forced away. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Fjant was just reading aggression. He was reading maybe even a proxy in game 2. So it's a smart way to play out the series, I feel. Meanwhile, across the map, BattleB, he's not proxying, he's not cheesing, he's not being overly aggressive. He's going for a third CC opener. So very economic, should be going into a starport. So for the time being, this is exactly the same as game number 1. We'll see if he goes for an add-on swap for a starport. But for the time being, there is no tech lab here on this rack. So I'm curious to see how he deviates and how he changes his build here compared to that first game. Again, game 1 was a standard 3cc into Banshee opener. There's that tech lab now in production for BattleB. Meanwhile, the Reaper is going to be dancing with the queens, poking and prodding, looking for a way in. Also, exclamation mark, Funada Eva. Eva just messaged me. He said, "Oh, I forgot to sign up." That's a lie. I just slept in. Este Eva. Este Eva. Just messaging him. But yeah, it is going to be the same build. He goes for the add-on swap, is going to be these 3cc into a Banshee opener. Again, very standard, nothing at all wrong with this. You just have to make sure you don't throw away your units early on. If you remember, wait, what? I turned this into a tuna. I swear I turned it into a tuna. We'll wait for next game. I swear I changed this. Am I crazy? This should be a tuna. I'll double check. I'll change it next series. I'll change it next series. But yeah, if you remember in the previous game, the Hellions, they actually were they were committed to, if you remember. We saw the Hellions and the Banshees dive on the Queens, and they got some Queens, yes, but as soon as the Hellions died, then Fjant had map control. He took advantage of that. He got a lot of SCV damage as a result. It is something that, in the end, wasn't really worth it for BattleB to commit to killing the Queens and for those events to transpire. Meanwhile, the first Banshee actually comes out a little bit prematurely, gets a couple of worker kills, does reveal itself. Fjant now mentally getting prepared here with his spores, with his queen positioning, with his lings. Speaking of lings, do slip into the main. We get confirmation that the Raxes have been spotted. And Fjant is fully aware of the build here of BattleB. Very nice ling scout from our Zerg player. As the Hellions are looking for a way in, they get a couple of tumors, and it looks like this time BattleB is going to be a little bit more restrained here, a little bit more tempered in his aggression. Just poking, prodding, focusing more on map control more than anything. As the Banshees are going to be joining forces here. Two of them are going to be dipping in towards that third. Again, they cannot one-shot workers. Queens are busy with the Hellions. And that means the damage is going to be done. We do get 3 drones in total. Not too bad, as long as the Banshees make it out. As long as they make it out. As long as they make it out, no! Ah. One Banshee will go down. Not ideal. I think that was a bit of miscontrol there. I'm pretty sure BattleB, he did move commander back, and then I think he A-moved too soon, so it aggroed on the gas geyser instead of going all the way back. It's a little bit unfortunate. At the same time, Lings go for a massive counterattack. This time the Hellions are back at home. This time the Lings get annihilated. And this is the power of the Hellion. This is why in game 1 the Ling counterattack did so much damage, and why it did nothing here in game 2. Looking at the Unicells tab, that was, oh my god, 40 Lings go down for a handful of Marines. As we can see, that is going to weaken the double drop, as Stim 1-1 is about to finish up, but only by 1 Marine. We're only down 1 unit here for that drop. The Hellions are going to be joining the forces here. Armory is on the way. We don't have Hellbats yet, but again, this is still a very supportive unit here. The Hellions are, that is, against these Lings. Pushing through the center, we're getting to the middle line. 4 drones go down. The Queens are under threat. The Bailings are still on the way, but bathing speed is done, so we should have enough. BattleB, he scans. He has to respect the army. He sees how many Bailings are waiting for him, and he's going to back up. Up! Almost gets a Queen. See BattleB moving out here. A couple of tanks to help support. At the same time, as BattleB moves out, as he commits to the attack, we have a massive counterattack. The wall is a wall with a natural base. This third is looking that much more exposed, though. This does mean that there is less to defend. Fjant, he does have a couple of Baileys rolling in the split. Not amazing. Good Bailey connections onto the Marines, onto those Hellbats. Meanwhile, across the map, ooh, the reinforcements clean up the Lings. Fjant, this run by was not worth it. I assumed that he would get into the mineral line and get economic damage done, but no, the Lings that were aggroed to the reinforcements here at the natural instead. And Fjant is in a lot of trouble. He just lost a base. He has a good worker count, but he lost a lot of Lings. And yeah, BattleB, he has the freedom to split off some units. He heads towards the right-hand side and takes down another mineral line. The Lings move on forward. They take down both tanks. It looks like Fjant is going to be able to hold on. But he lost a lot to make this happen. He lost a hatchery, he lost 9 workers, he's down to sub 60 drones at this point. BattleB is a player with that much more momentum. Fjant gonna try to collapse on this, but alas, is gonna be forced back. And BattleB isn't all in. He's already got a 4th CC on the way. It was cancelled earlier, I think, from that link counterattack. But it is about to finish up. BattleB has a lot of momentum. He's up 40 supply. Again, Fjant was just a little bit too wasteful earlier. He's going to try and set up a surround. But that's a lot to surround. There's a lot of fire here, Poppy. There's a lot of Marines. Here we go again. A really good spread here out of BattleB. Anticipating the army to push in. Lingbane comes in from behind, does pull back the army. Fjant's coming in from the front as well. How good is the target firing? How good are the connections? As Fjant will swallow up the bioforces. But you can see, once again, it took a lot of supply to make that happen, and we have more reinforcements being sent across the map. This hatchery is done for. Lings, they have to try to keep up here with the drop play of BattleB. They're going to be able to. At the same time, good mainline connections. Fjant does hold on to that hatchery. It got very low, but it does survive. Fjant, despite being so far down in overall supply, he's holding on. He's saturating his 4th. He's trying to get this 5th up and running. Oh, that mine is going to reset. Oh. BattleB's getting in position. He does have eyes on this army. Lings dive on forward. There aren't enough Marines here to support. They were out of position. The tanks go down. Not a bad fight, but it's just not enough. GG gets called. BattleB takes game number 2, and we have a series. Oh, GG. GG, well played. We're going to the ace match. Again, a much stronger start this time for BattleB. Initially, he was a little bit more tempered, a little bit more restrained in how aggressive he was with his Hellions, and it paid off. Fjant, a little bit too careless, overextended too much sometimes with his link counterattacks. Didn't gain anywhere near as much value with them. And just like that, we're going to game number 3. Catching up. Happy sweet 16th birthday. Can confirm. First time STC. Also impressed by Fjant actually waking up. Yeah, there you go. So it is their debut. And one minute, is it fixed? God, what? Next series. I'll fix it next series. As here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the German Terran player representing Berserker Esports, tying up the series 1-1 in that last game. It is BattleB. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Swedish Zerg player representing Team Roddy, once again going for the 15 hatch. It is Fjant. Oh, whoa, okay, pretty good. I'll say, is he going for an earlier gas? No, it's going to be a 15 hatch into a 15 spawning pool. Again, with this, we're going to be cutting some corners. We're going to be delaying the gas geysers. We're going to be prioritizing mineral income, of course, and getting queens a little bit faster as well. Getting or having access to lings faster. So a very safe opener overall. Can be a little bit more economic in a way as well, just because you're not wasting any of your drones mining gas. It's just all going to be mineral income for a little bit longer. The downside is you have much later link speed, but link speed isn't the most important upgrade in this matchup, to be honest. Like, as you can imagine, in ZvT, in a standard game I should say, it's mainly queens. Queens are like keeping the Hellions at bay. Sure, you have lings, but the lings are to deny a dive. They're not really designed to go for these run-bys that early on. Eventually, yes, of course, link counterattacks are a big part of ZvT, but in the early game, not so much. So Fjant just cutting some corners. If BattleB recognizes what's going on, he can also be greedy himself, because obviously it means like no early roach rush, no early banelings. Like, you're aware that your opponent does have less potential for aggression. Here we go, so third base is being taken. And if you remember, in the previous game, Fjant did take his gas before the third, but it looks like that won't be the case this time. So there it is, the third is being taken, and Fjant doesn't flinch. No gases are taken, so a gasless opener here from Fjant. Oh, but he will lose a drone. Oh, a little bit slow to react. A good start for BattleB. Again, when you're cutting corners like this, you can't afford to lose workers. Every worker does count that much more. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have two Lings rocking up, looking to maybe disturb the CC, but the CC finishes up just in time. The wall is not a wall, so the Lings are going to get a scout off. They confirm the factory. They confirm it's not a 2-1-1. It is going to be a 1-1-1 at least. We can see it's going to be a CC before Starport, so every single game so far from BattleB, the same build. Very economic, very standard. Very flexible as well. Oh, the supply block. I did just notice, and Fjant making 3 overlords at a time. A pretty brutal supply block across the map. I know it is very early over in Sweden. I think it's like 9 AM-ish, something like that. I don't know. Fjant, he was complaining that he had to wake up early to play in this tournament. He's like, I don't wake up until 1 PM on a Sunday, okay? I'm like, hey, este Fjant. But slight mistake there. Hopefully it doesn't hurt him too much as he is focusing on droning. Queens are attempting to keep up here with the Hellions. And behind this, once again, a 3cc into Banshee opener. So same opener every single game so far. The standard. If you're out there, if you're learning how to play Terran, if you're looking to improve, hey, this follow BattleB. You know, it's this is kind of, there's nothing too fancy with this. You know, we're not hyper prioritizing like Reaper control with 2 racks openers, or we're not being hyper greedy like Spirit would at times. That's standard stuff, solid stuff. Solid play here from our Terran. Meanwhile, back at home, Fjant just going to be saturating his bases. Now we have our gases. Now we have Ling speed on the way. Again, finishing later than normal, but can they keep up the Hellions? They do dive in. Ugh, a bold dive here from BattleB. He's going to get 4 workers. Oh, can he get more? It looks like he will. He gets 6 in total. Not a bad dive here. He gets some decent damage, but this does mean that he is vulnerable to a counterattack. We have 2 Hellions back at home to defend, and we have a lot of Lings in production. Fjant is getting ready for it. Really nice positioning here in those mineral patches. BattleB is getting ready for it. He's expecting a counterattack. Speaking of, here we go. The Lings do arrive. Can they deal with these Hellions? Again, really good positioning, using the terrain to their advantage. Hellions will go down, but the Banshees were kept at home. So even though BattleB threw away his Hellions, he got economic damage done, and he wasn't punished for it. Now, this will weaken the 1-1 push, the bio push. If you remember last game, because the Hellions were there to support the Marines, it meant that Queens were dying. It meant that BattleB was trading really efficiently with the Lings of Fjant. And that isn't going to be the case this time. But Fjant getting supply block. 5 overlords in, but oh god. The supply blocks have been pretty intense here. 5 overlords at a time for Fjant, trying to break out of it. Again, maybe a little bit flustered because of the early game, but hopefully he can recover. Hopefully he can just take a breath, take a moment to himself. As the Banshees are moving out. This is not the Grand Platypus Open, but I like the Platypus nonetheless. I'll fix it after this series. I promise the tuna will arrive. as the Banshees are just sharking around. So far, they haven't been thrown away. They haven't gotten too much economic damage done, but in the absence of the Hellions, it's really the Banshees' job here to try to keep the creep under control. So here comes the double job. Fjant able to drone up quite nicely here to 73. Not too bad. Marines have arrived. Upgrades are still a couple of seconds away from finishing. Speaking of, the bailing speed is done. And the drop is forced back. At the same time, we have the Banshees threading the hatchery on the right-hand side. Looking to deny the 5th, and it looks like they will force a cancel. Oh, they should have forced a cancel. That was a kill. 300 minerals down the drain. Another big mistake here from Fjant. This is something that we didn't see previously. Like, again, game 1 and game 2, Fjant was looking a little bit more solid, a little bit more in control. I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know if it's, again, just a little bit too early, but Fjant, he needs to pull it together. Because these are things where if enough mistakes do occur, like BattleB, he's capitalizing. He's now ahead in supply. He's got a comparable economy. And he is mixing things up. He's going for an 8 racks. BattleB, unlike the previous games, as we do have Lingbane, trying to attack off of creep. But BattleB, he doesn't have a 4th. There is no 4th CC. 8 racks are done. This is looking like a 3-base all-in coming out from BattleB. Just nothing but Marines, nothing but tanks. This is looking to snowball out of control. Fjant, can he hold on? Oh boy. As BattleB has just maxed out here on his production capabilities on 3 bases. Not really too concerned with a 4th. ARAXs are really popular on Royal Blood just because of how straightforward the rush distances or the push parts are. You see a double jump being sent over towards the right hand side, looking to deny that 5th. At the same time, we do have a counterattack, but there are reinforcements back at home. Fjant for a moment there, he wanted to commit. Hatchery will fall. The run by does nothing, and Fjant has to go back home. Up. Does force a pickup. Okay, there's a 4th base on the way. I was like, we have these gases. Okay, we do have these gases being taken after BattleB denies the hatchery. He is expanding, he is transitioning. Is looking into a longer game. Meanwhile, Fjant still trying to get a 5th up and running. He's got the gold for now, but I say for now because we're here to stop it. The drop has arrived. 4 workers go down. Hot pickup. We don't lose too much of anything here against the Banelings. Meanwhile, over the right, we can see Fjant is being pulled apart. Marauders have arrived, and we're going to force another cancel on this hatchery. It's not going to get up and running. Oh, as I say that, though, we have reinforcements. Fjant, he wants to hold on to it. Good spread there from BattleB. Good positioning. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, it looks like the goal base is going to go down. Hatchery will fall. Oh no! As BattleB was not looking, he takes some Banelings to the face. Finally, a good fight for Fjant. And with that, the supplies are closing. Oh, these tanks, they were left exposed. 1, 2 tanks are going to be going down. 3 tanks go down. They did not have the Marines or Marauders to support them, and Fjant taking some good trades. After having a rough time holding on to these hatcheries, he is now fighting back. He even has burrow. Banelings are lying in wait. We do have a trap set up. Fjant, he's not done. He's not out of this. He's not giving up. He is fighting back. Lurker Den on the way. Again, lurkers are a good way to have a more defender's advantage. The gold is not going to finish though. And the Lurker Den isn't done. Like, after being on the back foot, lurkers would be a good way to just slow down the game, but he needs time to get there. Marauders are punching through. Fjant, he has to leave some army here on the right-hand side to deal with the drop play. But Hydra's affording. This is not an efficient trade at all for Fjant. And BattleB, he's just snowballing out of control. He's gaining too much ground without banelings, without splash damage. The hatchery goes down. Yeah, Fjant's still struggling to hold on. Oh, does catch some medevacs. A full medevac goes down. Good pick off from Fjant. Lurker Den has finished. Lurkers are on the way. Now, is it too late though? That's the question. Are Lurkers going to be enough here for Fjant to hold on to these bases? We go for a scan. We scout the Lurkers. And with the arrival of the Lunkers, Fjant, he's holding on to this position just barely. BattleB is going to have to go into a more tank-heavy composition to counteract this, or going to Liberators. I mean, he's got Ghosts. It's tanks, Liberators, Ghosts. I'm sure all on the mind here of BattleB, and he's opting to go for Ghosts already. Already had that transition in mind. With the Lurkers arriving, BattleB, he respects them, he backs off completely, and Fjant is going to get this base back up and running. He's triple expanding. And he is able to max out. And with these Lair Tech Lurkers, he's actually pushing out across the map. A bold move! Not too sure if I'm too fond of it, I'll be honest. Well, meanwhile, on the right-hand side, looks like Fjant is cleaning up the drop, taking down the Marauders. Those Bard Banelings still have not been used. They're still here chilling on the right-hand side. We have Bard Banelings at almost every ramp, actually. Do love to see it. And Fjant is stabilizing. He still doesn't have an amazing economy, and he's still working on his Hive. Like, he's still lacking the Hive upgrades for the Lurkers, Adrenal, 3-3. It's something that he's still working on. But with these Lurkers arriving, we can see that, again, BattleB, he's completely backed off. He's turtling up, we've got tanks on the way, CCs, he's walling off. He's giving Fjant the breathing room that he's been yearning for, that he's been looking for all his life, all this game. The pressure has been alleviated. Not mining too efficiently, but I'm sure Fjant is going to be working on fixing that, rectifying that momentarily. And here we go, the Lurkers have arrived. You see a surround being set up from Fjant. Takes down the tanks. Ugh, but the Ghosts do stand strong. The Bard Banelings were scattered, by the way, so they're going to have to be repositioned. There we go. Yeah, just solidifying himself. But BattleB has gained access to the center base. That's really what a lot of this fight has been about, or a lot of TVZ can be about, is whether or not the Zerg player can stop the 5th. 5th has been taken, tanks are in position, Liberators as well. Ghosts. There, he's got all things anti-Lunker. Meanwhile, Fjant is going to attempt to be a little bit more mobile here. We do have a Nidus on the way. There is a path into the main that isn't covered by the sensor tower. There's potential for Nidus play. And here we go. We collapse on the Ghosts. A good chunk of Ghosts go down. But I do feel like Fjant is overextending. Like, pushing into this position, that's exactly what BattleB wants. He's here with all of his tanks, planetaries, Ghosts. Just a push that's not really gaining too much ground. Meanwhile, he's going to be rotating over towards the right-hand side. Does barely miss that Bard Baneling. Lurkers have arrived, but good snipes. One of them will go down. Lurker upgrades have it completed at this point. Both Seismic Spines and Adaptive Talons. 3-3 still has not started. Yo, do we have a Parasitic Bomb? We do not. As the drops do get out of there. And Fjant at least holds onto his base. Holds onto his base. Still trying to get some more of these hatcheries up and running. Still doesn't have the best mining capabilities at the moment. Doesn't have the best upgrades. Again, BattleB has kind of beat him there in a way. With 3 attack, plus 3 defense about to finish. We have Neo Steel Frames. High Sec auto tracking just finished up as well for those turrets, for the planetaries. Here we go, BattleB. He's looking for another fight. Fjant still needs time to remax. We're going to try to collapse on this. We have a lot of tanks. They are bunched up. They are vulnerable to a blinding cloud. But Fjant just doesn't have enough to contest against this. 14 workers go down alongside the base. Oh no, the drones! Fjant can't quite afford to lose these workers. He barely has any of them to begin with. He's down to 57 drones. Oh! Yeah, and BattleB is just trading too efficiently, has too much momentum. Fjant just being forced further and further back. He's down to how many? 15 lurkers, not too bad. He's going to try and dive on top of these ghosts. Does get some of them. I was wondering, where are the lurkers? Oh, they're in the Nidus. In a desperate attempt to force back his opponent, he goes for a big Nidus into the main. Lurkers are going to be looking to camp the production. But BattleB, he's not going to turn around. He's not backing off. Maybe he should. The Vipers, they are full of energy. And here we go, we're diving in. Up. A little bit premature. Fjant not getting the fight that he was looking for. The Vipers are looking exposed. The tanks are pushing forward. The Nidus goes down. We're trying to blinding cloud whatever we can, but the Vipers also get focused. And BattleB, he's breaking into the natural. The lurkers across the map are getting a lot of damage down there, camping the production, but we can't deal with the main army. We can't stop the main push. It was a good effort, a good series here from Fjant, but if you remember, even early on, there were a lot of mistakes, a lot of supply blocks, you know, dead hatcheries. It did feel like Fjant, it took him a little bit here to really get going, whether it was nerves or whether he was tired, still waking up. Too many mistakes early on did give BattleB a lot of momentum. Fjant was able to slow the game down with his lurkers, but alas, that was not enough. Just a little bit too far behind as BattleB is busting into the main. We're going to try to go for one last fight here, one last blinding cloud, but it is too little too late. GG gets called, and BattleB takes the series 2-1. Eliminating Fjant. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to BattleB for taking the series again for his first time here in Sparkling Tuna Cup. You love to see it. I appreciate that he's here, and I appreciate the series that they gave us as well. My condolences to Fjant. Again, he's a great player, and we've been casting a lot of him recently. But again, he did not go down without a fight, and he provided for a good series, and an entertaining series nonetheless. GG.